Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Neffit. We'd like to appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Today's special guest is Drew.
Hi.
His last name?
Drew Brotherton.
There you go. Brotherton.
Put it in the bottom.
Right, we'll put it in the bottom. Drew Brotherton. It's a unique last name. We really like it. Honestly, I've known him for a couple of years. This is the first time I actually hear his last name. And it's a unique one, but I see so many people and they have a whole bunch of unique names that I'm sorry, I kind of botched it. But hey, welcome, brother. We like to have you here. Appreciate you coming.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
I want a handshake too, man.
absolutely,
I want a handshake, yeah.
We are with him today. He'll go over a couple of things that he's been through and have him introduce himself a little bit to you guys.
Yeah.
Take it away, brother.
All right, thanks, man. Hey, everyone. My name's Drew Brotherton. Like we said, I usually get a few compliments on the last name, so I appreciate it, everyone. But yeah, so I went to Texas A&M over here with Neff, where he is, whoop. I grew up in Houston, Texas, or the Woodlands, if you're a native Houstoner. Went to College Park High School, and then worked my way up to Texas A&M, where I went to the Mays Business School and majored in marketing, actually, specified in data analytics and consulting, just because it was just super interesting to me. The whole data side of things, it's the future for sure. And now I'm up in Dallas, working at a financial consulting firm called Riveron Consulting. Doing some fun stuff up there, which we can get into, but yeah, it's a pretty brief overview of me.
So how was high school like for you in the Woodlands, correct?
The Woodlands, yep. So yeah, I mean, I was born and raised Houston, the Woodlands. I say Houston just because it's a more general front-facing view.
Pretty big population out there?
Yeah, no, it's lots of people out there. It's blown up since I grew up there, but super suburban area, very just calm and quiet place. Lots of people that drive in from Houston live over there. So there's definitely some. It's known for like good money.
It's a nice area.
Yeah, it's a nice area for sure. The oil and gas people are over there. I know Exxon moved out there, but I didn't grow up, like I was surrounded by like the richest of the rich. I was not that.
He was just rich, not rich.
Yeah, I was pure middle class.
So you got to the Woodlands before they moved in, or what was
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up super like, middle class. I had, I got to do everything I wanted to do, but I wasn't like driving a sports car or anything, just like,
awesome.
The people around me. But I'm definitely blessed for all that.
How big was your high school class, man?
It was, I think my graduating class was like 80,000.
80,000.
Just graduating class?
No, wait, 80, no, I'm sorry. 800, what am I saying? I was like, hold on. No. I'm thinking of A&M, man. I'm thinking of A&M right now. No, the graduating class was 800.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I know.
That's double.
It was a lot. No, it was a huge high school. I mean, you'd walk down the halls and it was flooded out there. But the perks of going to such a big school was we had some really specified classes and stuff that we could take. It was really interesting. Like, just in high school alone, like I took obviously my core classes, math, science, whatever it may be, but I also took architecture. I took 4 years of computer science.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just found it interesting. Took 1 year of it, and I was like, this is like badass. It's like learning a whole nother language. And
were you coding on like Java? Or?
Yeah, I was doing Java. I know Java like the back of my hand, and I think that's kind of where it brought me to like now with all the data side of things is that I find it super interesting diving into like the background of how things work. It's like you go on a website, it's not all just, simple user interface.
You see the language, the coding,
exactly.
The start, the end, or if there's loops.
It's fun. It's like solving a puzzle, and
That's
so.
crazy. And what got you into that? Did your family show you any of that, or were you in a class and you're like, hey, I kind of like what that has in for me, or?
Yeah, so my dad would always tell me probably like right before I got to high school, he was like, man, like you and me, we're gonna learn how to code one day. Like I'm telling you, it's the future. Like you need to learn it.
His dad was up to something.
He was. He was.
He is. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he was investing early for sure. And so, when I got to like check off my classes in high school, he was like you got to take this one. Just try it. It's one class.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So, dude, fell in love with it.
Did you play any sports or anything like that? Or
Yeah.
coding?
I played golf all 4 years, and then a little bit of basketball outside of it. But
Are you a lefty or a righty?
I'm a righty. Yeah.
No, you.
Now that he brings that up, we got to time out. The only reason he's asking is because I love going to the Goodwill and shopping there, see what they got and stuff. And every time they have a lot of like good golfing stuff out there, and it's like you can't beat it. It's like $15 for like a whole set. So I was like, he started getting into golfing. So as soon as I see like golf clubs, I'm like, let me send Freddie a picture. So send Freddie a picture. He's like, hey, on the dot, get them for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, no brainer. Boom, put them in the cart, throw them in the truck. They've been driving around me for like a week. I finally give them to him. He takes them to the office, real cool, gonna show them off. And his friends are like, hey, that's awesome, but I didn't know you were a lefty.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not a lefty. And he's like, so why in the hell did you buy lefty clubs?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
The whole set, all lefty clubs.
Yeah, that's all I was asking. Yeah.
So now I pay attention exactly to what I'm sending Freddie.
Yeah.
Every time we see a golf club, I'm like, hey.
Yeah, but sometimes it's confusing. I'm like,
It is.
Yeah. At least it was Goodwill, man. At least he didn't go to like Golf Galaxy or something. Drop.
Hey,
and
to be honest, the sets he got, there was like one golf club that was almost like $100 if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
it's a tailor-made one, and it's like it looks brand new.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, get it.
Yeah.
Any like tight competitions in high school that you were like, I need to take them out?
I was varsity, but I wasn't like too competitive. Like I was not very good in high school. I was like mid 80s, which it sounds good, you think, but man, like growing up in the Woodlands is, like I said, they have money down there. Golf courses everywhere. It's like Frisco and Dallas.
Everybody golfs.
Everyone golfs. So these kids grew up. I mean, they'll be like 10 years old shooting in the 70s. Yeah, it's crazy. So
The lower the number, the better.
yeah.
You see, I learned that late.
Yeah, really?
I was over here getting all the points in the world.
You thought you were winning, man.
I thought I was up.
No, these guys were just beating everyone left and right, dude.
Well, I kind of want to know, like, so growing up in the Woodlands, what did your parents do? Like, how did you become Drew? Like, what did your parents instill in you or taught you?
Yeah, so my mom was blessed enough to be a stay-at-home mom, which is awesome for her. So she got to raise us and teach us everything we know and take us everywhere. And then my dad was working in orthotics and prosthetics at the time. Right down the road, man. He had like a 5-minute commute, and so he'd be able to come home like during lunch and
It's awesome.
take us to the park or whatever it might be. So my family was super, I mean, as you can tell, family oriented. I mean, they love to travel. They love to just, that's like where all our money was like spent, I'm sure, is just like traveling. And
But the good thing is people don't realize this, that you remember more of the memories.
exactly, yeah. I still remember it to this day. I talk about it all the time. It's like, oh, I've been to that city. I've been to that city. It's like, I was like 8 years old. I don't remember all of it, but
You still have
I remember the fact that they did that for me.
the
you know?
flashbacks and stuff
It's
like
instilled
that.
in me, yeah.
What was your favorite place as a kid?
Boston, for sure.
Oh, really?
Boston.
Okay, that's different.
Because my entire mom's side of the family lives up there.
No way.
Second home.
They
Yeah.
have good food out there?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. They have an entire, I'm Italian. They have an entire Italian district.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, right? And man, you can't beat, it's just pure, just immigrants that came over from Italy making food. It's
great.
it's badass, yeah.
Amazing sauces and pizza.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, have y'all ever been?
No.
Oh man, you have to go during the summer, I'll tell you that. Don't go in,
It's too cold for us Texans out there. What? I'm already cold. It's 80 outside.
dude, summertime, it's like summertime in Chicago. Everyone's out. Everyone's just doing everything that they can because they got 3 short months to fit everything in, you know? And so, man, you go up there, it's like high of like 80, and everyone's just out.
So did you
doing
spend
whatever.
most of your summers out there?
Exactly, yeah.
that's
I'd go up like for a month every summer.
I would too if I had the option. I mean, that's great.
Yeah, no,
And
I
then
was
friends,
blessed enough
family
to
that
do
you have
that.
out there too, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Is that the place you guys went to the most, or?
Oh, absolutely. The most, yeah. We'd go, I mean, once a year. But I mean, even just that family up there instilled so much in me. I mean, they're just like
Do you know
It's Italian
Italian?
culture. No, I don't, unfortunately. But
I was about to say, do you see a big difference from like your family out here in
Exactly,
Texas
yeah.
and your family up there? Like, is it like a huge difference or?
it's like, I mean, it's just a difference in like people. People down south are on the outer layer. They're super sweet. You know, they're gonna say, you know, Chick-fil-A, have a blessed day, or whatever it might be, right? The Southern hospitality. But you go up north and it's like, you gotta break a seal, right? But as soon as you break that, I mean, they just
Game
like
over.
wanna take you in.
They accept you.
Exactly.
They accept you.
That's awesome.
No,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like us. Like when we're back in the valley, everybody's kind of defensive.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like, I don't know this guy. I don't know how I feel about him. But then once you do something, or they know that you're a good person,
Oh, that's it.
They got
You're part
that-
of the
yeah.
family.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man.
It's so similar, yeah. But no, yeah, I went there the most, but man, they just love to travel everywhere. We're probably going 2 trips a year is awesome, and got to go everywhere we could. So they were super, you know, family oriented and just wanted to spend as much time together as possible. And my dad, you know, as much as he did work, he didn't like want to be at work. He, like some people, you know, he wanted to be at home with the family as much as he could. And, so that was just amazing growing up. I mean, we can talk about it later, but like it kind of instills like the whole family that like I want to have eventually growing up.
yeah,
Exactly.
For sure, man.
that's awesome.
What I want to provide.
That's great. And you look like a family person.
Well, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
I was like,
You're a very receiving person. That's
Yeah.
great,
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Definitely got that from my mom, for sure. Yeah. She loves to.
are you a mama's boy?
I would say so, yeah.
I'm a mama's boy.
And of course, mama's boy.
I'm a mama's boy, man. Yeah.
It's,
No, my
it's
mom's
like
the best.
Mexicans, their mama feeds you, your mama's
Yeah.
boy. It's same thing, same
Like my thing was like I grew up with my mom not working, so like
Yeah.
like we constantly got to go do things. Like if we wanted to go to the park or go do something, she would take us. But the best part about that is that like you said, it instilled in you. I want that for my wife. So my wife hasn't worked in over a year, and we just had a baby. She's 10 months, and she's like, yeah, like I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, great, I want you to be a stay-at-home mom. But like, like I just want to be able to continue that. Sometimes I feel like that makes me a little bit more old school, but it's worth it.
Yeah. No, man, I have the same exact mindset. I want that same exact thing for my family, and just to be able to like, I feel like my biggest goal that I want to achieve in life is just simplicity, you know, of life. Like just, you know, you want to go on a trip like anytime, like let's go on a trip. Like it doesn't have to be huge, but like let's go take a road trip. Like I can, you know.
Yeah, and to be honest, Texas is big enough to where you can take a couple-hour drive and still be in Texas.
Have that financial freedom to like pick up and go whenever you
Financial
want.
freedom, that's the best word for it, yeah. But not even necessarily only for trips. It's like, you know.
Anything that they throw at you.
Exactly, just be like, maybe don't spoil them, but like, you know, like, yeah.
Well, and it sets you up for the next step, I guess.
Exactly.
Were you a good student? Were you a good kid? Or how would you explain yourself? Like,
Yeah, I know.
You out out here.
I know.
I don't know.
I would say I was, I mean,
Any teachers also that stood out after you're done explaining how you were with as a student?
yeah, no, I would say I was definitely a good student. I didn't even get under an A until college. College is just hard, but
Hey, that's great though.
yeah,
college is way different because everybody's smart.
it is.
Like-
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like that's because I thought I was smart. I got to A&M, everybody's smart. So it's like, dang, I'm not smart.
This is where we get the smart of the smart.
But no, I was pretty much pretty nerdy in high school. I played my sports. You know, I played golf. It wasn't the coolest thing in high school, but I didn't care.
Hey, but now
It matters now. Yeah. Played a lot of video games. I was always outside growing up. I would literally, my friends would just come knock on the front door and be like, "Hey, you want to come like, you know, ride bikes in the ditch down the road?" And we'd be like, "Let's do it." You know.
see, that's a good life right there.
Yeah.
You kind of grew up the way we.
I know. I was like, it's like you grew up in the valley.
Yeah. Basically, after school, you know, I'd finish at like 2:00 or whatever. I'd have to sit at the kitchen table until like 5. I couldn't get up. I'd have to do my work. Doesn't even matter if I don't have anything. I got to figure something out. Which I mean, yeah, it like engraved in my brain that, you know, it's not fun time until like everything's done.
Yeah.
Everything has to be done, and I feel like a lot of people weren't taught that, and it's so important, you know.
That's great that you said, because you like you said, you set yourself time for work, set yourself time for friends, and then family, and then that's how you start separating your time.
Yep.
So time management is one of the crucial parts there,
Yep.
right?
I totally agree. I feel like time management is one of the biggest learning curves, which I feel like I learned the most in college, honestly. Whenever you don't have that.
Yep. No, I was gonna say that because now you're on your own.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what some of like my friends in college, because I came to A&M too, never got to graduate. You guys will hear the story in the other podcast. Yeah. But one thing that we learned was like one of the smartest guys, he was like, we were on the top 10, but he was like really high up there. Just kind of didn't do anything in college.
Yeah.
Because he had the freedom. Like he was able to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. So he never had somebody there to like instill in him.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, you said you learned the most in college. Do you think it's because school probably came easy for you in high school, and now in college it's like, okay, this is a little more challenging?
Yeah, I would say that it definitely did come easy to me. Like I can see it, clear difference in like me and my sister. I have a sister, 16. She goes to oh my gosh,
Dude, everybody we get along with,
They're sisters.
yeah, I'm not lying. Everybody we get along with, like I'm the only male.
Really?
Like I only have sisters.
Yeah.
I only have sisters.
Yeah, you have that caring aspect. No.
See, people don't get that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
funny
my
because
gosh.
Freddie's the oldest and I'm the youngest. So, and we're the only boys. So we got the whole opposites.
And you're
Yeah.
the oldest.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my sister's. I said 16 because I still view her as a baby, but she's 20 now.
Oh, wow, that's a huge jump, bro.
That's what I'm talking about high school now. I'm viewing her as the baby, you know?
She's almost out of college now, bro.
She seriously is. But she goes to UConn up north because she wanted to be close to my family in Boston. So
Connecticut? No.
yeah, University of Connecticut. Yeah, great school, lots of fun. But yeah, the difference between me and her is that like it came easy for me. I would sit at that table, I'd have everything done in 20, 30 minutes, and she'd be there grinding. She'd be grinding. Took her past 5 p.m. She'd be grinding. So there's just such a clear difference between a hard worker and just someone who it comes easy to. And so I feel like for a lot of those people who it comes easy to, you're right. They don't have that hard work engraved in them. And so for me, I realized that I had to be on my game if I wanted to. Yeah, if I wanted to succeed.
You see, and now that you say it like that, I've realized it too because I'm dyslexic and all that good stuff. So for me, I'm an educator too, so I got my license to teach. But when I would ever give my lessons plans, I would have to study my reports and study my lesson plans over and over before even giving the lesson plan. You get me? Like I would have to do it like 4 or 5 times and recite it, make sure I had everything word by word. And I see what you mean by like if it comes to you naturally, it's just boom. But if it's not, you set yourself time to study it and really get to it to make it the best. You know what I mean?
You kind of have to learn a lot more about yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's a big crucial one.
But props to your sister, because like you said, she stayed there past 5 to finish it. A lot of people would have been like, man, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? So props to your sister. She's still doing it.
Seriously, she is. And yeah, I feel like that's one of the hardest things to learn is just drive. I don't even know if it's learned, honestly.
I think you have to go through it. What do you think kept you going, like in college or?
I think for me, it's just my vision for the future. What I like to do to motivate myself and to honestly just make me get out of bed for the day is just like have this huge goal at the end of my life. Like I said, I want to provide this for my family. I mean, maybe that's way down the road, but
you're thinking about it now for later. People don't do that.
Exactly.
They hit their 30s, 40s, like, oh, now I want to start.
Yeah.
Like, you're already 10, 20 years behind.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, boss?
I'm 22, about to be 23.
Oh man, you seem a lot older. Yeah.
It's crazy because the way people carry themselves and the age gap, it's crazy because like you'll meet one of the youngest people and they're already so far ahead.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Definitely.
And it all has to do with mindset.
Mindset. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I mean, we could dive into that, but I have tons of friends my age, which I'm sure it's normal, but like, man, they just like party. And I'm like, okay, like let's focus on, in 10 years, you're going to regret this. I'm telling you.
What do you think sets you apart? Because we're relating a lot.
Yeah.
Like we're way further ahead than some of our friends. Like instead of partying, you want to do something that's beneficial. Like I don't know if I'm making sense there.
No, you're making total sense. I think that I think that's a huge difficulty that a lot of people struggle with, and I think that to combat that, what I've done is surround myself with like-minded people. As simple as that is, I mean, just like y'all, surround yourselves by each other. That's why you're best friends. Those people, I don't surround myself with them anymore, and like, it's not like I'm, just saying like, hey, get out of my life. It's like I'm friendly with them, but I'm not gonna take them.
You've had your fun, you've had your share, kind of how you said, you take your moments, and now it's time for the next step.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Well said, no?
Yeah. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people is huge, and then also just constant. I feel like I said, I have just a really good mindset on everything as far as life goes. I'm trying to be happy for the most part, and try and keep that end vision in mind. And I feel like that's what drives me, and I just have a strong drive to get to that point. And I feel like that's really all that sets me apart.
Have you always had that, or did you pick that up?
No, definitely not. I think that it developed whenever I found out that I had to work, whenever I found out I had to work to get to my goals, and it wasn't just going to come easy like that, which would be in college.
It was like just a light bulb moment where like, oh, I got to do it.
I think for sure. And honestly, as funny as it is, I think that social media helped with that for me. Like I said, I surrounded myself with like-minded people. I also dove into content that was like-minded. And so if I wanted to, it started with, I actually started with books. I would read motivational books and personal development books.
What was the top book that stood out the most to you? Let's say if you could recommend one book for somebody to read.
Yeah.
What would be the first book you would recommend? And then after that, wherever it takes them, it takes them.
Yeah. David Goggins' book. I don't know if anyone knows David Goggins, but man, he started from nothing. He started jumping house to house in the slums, and basically had no future in front of him, and ended up falling into a huge depression. Went up to 400 pounds, just eating everything, and then saw an advertisement for I think the Navy, and was just super motivated by it, and basically set his entire life to achieving that goal. He was like, that's who I want to become, and I'm going to do it. And basically said F you to everything about his past that was terrible, and completely changed his mindset and worked towards his goal. And now he's one of the greatest motivational speakers ever.
That's awesome.
Talking about his own thing. Yeah. But it's a great book just to hear someone else's story and about how they completely changed their life and their mindset.
It just reminded me of if you want to change the world, start by making your bed, or
I do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
You wake up, make your bed.
Yeah. I was actually telling my roommate about that the other day. Yeah, that's actually so funny you brought that up. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Y'all thinking right here? Just
no, I was telling my roommate that the other day because he's, just struggling a little bit financially, and I was like, look, man, I know every day can be hard. He's grinding, I'll tell you that, and he's still struggling, and I'm like, look, it's probably so hard to keep going, and I'm real with him because I know. And I'm like, just make sure you at least make your bed. And he's like, make my bed? Why make my bed? I'm like, because you come home from a shitty day, and at least you had your bed made, right? At least you did something. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, same mindset. That's funny.
That's great, man. And it's cool that you say that, because a real friend will keep it real. You know what I mean? And you just telling them hey, keeping it real, and telling them hey, just make your bed, and maybe that will brighten your day. You never know. And you being real and telling them stuff like that will definitely, hopefully, push them to taking some of your words and actually switching that gear pretty much. Because that's what it is. It's a gear change.
Exactly.
Did you have people in college kind of motivate you towards that? Or, because sometimes I feel like you don't stumble into it. There's always a friend or people of people that you end up knowing, and then it's went from there.
I would say it's two things for me. For one, my best friend Ben lives in Lubbock. He goes to Tech.
Oh man,
Texas
that's far.
Tech. Yeah, he's far. We try and see each other once a semester, but.
Well, when he makes a road trip out here, we're waiting for you,
Ben.
Ben.
For sure, Ben. No, but we're on the same exact wavelength all the time. And so we kind of just like keep each other at the same level, make sure one of us doesn't fall. If one of us falls, we pick each other up.
That's great, man.
Which helps. And then also I think that I contribute it to like an inner motivation, but really it's just just people I look up to. You know, I don't necessarily, I should, but I don't tell them all the time. But I like look at, you know, where these people are in my life, or like my grandpa, for instance. My grandpa and my grandma are just like, in my opinion, have led like one of the most perfect lives. And, you know, they're well off. They have a great family. They are able to do whatever they want, provide, you know, for whoever they want. And
how long have they been together?
Oh man, like since they were probably like 22 or something. So that'd be 55 years or something like that. Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy, man, because it's rare you hear people last that long. To be honest, props to your grandparents, because the love and the family oriented kind of structured to what you are now. And honestly, because of them, I feel like that's what created the whole family dynamic. And that's where it starts from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because that's a lot of time, 50-some years.
I know. I know.
That's good though.
Man, and they still embody like the most wholesome and sweetest characteristics you could ask for. And my grandma was like the most caring woman of all time. And my grandpa's got like the best head on his shoulders you could ever see. And so, yeah, that's like exactly what I look up to. And so, you know, driving towards something like that, it's just.
Did they do anything different, like from your parents, or like what did they do? Like, how did they get there?
Yeah, I think honestly, my grandpa's just really smart. He's just super smart. He started his own CPA firm. So, you know, he started in oil and gas, and then decided that he just wanted to do his own thing, and went and did that. And like I said, you got to be pretty smart if you're going to start your own business. I mean, so yeah, it worked out. And I mean, I think that if you base your life and your company and whatever it may be off good morals and good values, and you're just like a good person overall, success is just going to come, you know. And I think you have to be smart, but I also think
it's like what they say. It's like planting those seeds.
exactly right.
So whatever you reap, you sow. Yeah. So like if your grandpa was like doing that at an early start, now he's like, what's it called? He's enjoying the fruits of his labor.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Again, why A&M? Like, did you have other schools? Like why did you choose A&M?
So, as many people are going to say, I'm sure, wanted to go to UT. But only because my grandparents went there. Both of them did. And so they raised me to go to Texas. I know.
I get you.
I know for sure there is now,
this
dude.
year,
Yeah.
like A&M and UT football.
It's going to be fun. I'll probably go watch it with them, honestly. But
saving.
I know, right? Oh, maybe not there. I can't afford that. No. But yeah, so they raised me UT. I applied, and man, I'm telling you, the Woodlands was just so competitive in every sense. I mean, I told you golf, but like academics, they're one of like the top academic districts in, I don't know, probably Texas. I know Texas for a fact, but and it was just so competitive. And in my school, which I'm not about to start listing excuses, but they brought in, they started this new thing. It was called the Academy, which they would filter in all of the smartest kids from the other schools and then include them in your rank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And to get into UT, you had to be in the top 7%. I think I was like 10, because the entire 7% is right there, that chunk that they just pulled in.
And it's so many when you're comparing 800 students, that percentage.
I know. It's a ton, but not to make excuses, but I contributed a lot to, I mean.
And to be fair, a lot of students work hard for those rankings, man. I remember in our high school, it was, I feel like every year it's always like the valedictorian, salutatorian, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4 after that. It's just like back and forth, back and forth.
It's competitive,
One time I was 3, and I didn't know. Really? And then when other people found out, I was like, what the heck?
You got dropped down to like what?
I was 9.
9?
Yeah. Jeez, so I graduated at number 9. Yeah. But do you think it was meant to be? Because a lot of people, like some of my friends went to UT, but they didn't get any scholarships, or Like, and some people that kind of ended up at A&M or at some schools, they're like, man, it was worth it. Like, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad it happened. I actually chose A&M because of the business school. I mean, Texas and A&M were like head to head as far as the business schools are ranked, and so I was like, well, I'll just go to the best business school I can get into, right? I honestly didn't know too much at all about A&M, and I just kind of dove in head first.
And it's closer to home.
And it's closer to home.
It's closer to home.
My mom actually moved up to Boston now.
No way. Okay, that's far.
So I was about to ask you, so what are some sacrifices you see now, or what sacrifices did you have to go through for college, and then now that you're working, is there more sacrifices that you have to give up and stuff like that?
I think in the beginning there weren't any sacrifices. I think everyone kind of gets here and they're like, woo,
College.
you're free.
Yeah.
And so that was probably like my first year. I was like that, and then
Like, I bet you weren't making your bed when you first got here.
no, I was not for sure. And then I got my first, like, this sounds so like weird, but like I got my first B. I know, it's crazy, right?
That's what hurt.
Yeah, and that one hurt. And I was like, this is my freshman year. I was like, and it was like my first semester, and I was like, okay, like something I need to like lock in, right? I know.
I know.
Oh, no, trust me, plenty came. But it like knocked me, upside the head where I was like, oh, this isn't high school anymore. Nobody's here to put me on my game. And so, I mean, yeah, I had to kind of sacrifice time with friends, but not really, because like we talked about is time management. Time to management. Some of the best advice that I got is treat your college life like a 9 to 5, right? Nice. And then everything after that, just go have fun. Like 9 to 5 is plenty of time for college. I'll tell you that. That's almost too much. Like you don't need 8 hours in a day for college.
If you are, you're just playing crazy.
Yeah, if you are, you're grinding, which is totally awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But treat it like 9 to 5, and that's what I did. Is I would wake up at 7 a.m., go to the gym, then go straight to class, do all my classes, do homework in between the classes, sometimes in the classes. Shouldn't be doing that, but and I just try and get everything done so that after 5 p.m., man, I was free. Nice. It was awesome. So that's a huge piece of advice. But I feel like I didn't have to sacrifice too much. I got involved. I got super involved and joined some orgs where I met like some of my best friends who I still have to this day. And like they're the main ones that I keep up with. So it's all about, I think college is half, academics, half social. It's like people say it's about networking, the same. Definitely life-changing. And then in the real world, sacrifices, absolutely. That's where they come in.
Where are you at now? Like,
That's
so
the real sacrifice.
Yeah, you said you're in Dallas. So why Dallas? Because you got Houston, College Station, now Dallas.
I know. I'm working my way up north.
Going towards Boston.
Yeah, I know. One day, maybe.
Going towards Boston.
No, I'm a Texan, man.
There you go.
No, so I was getting close to graduating. I actually graduated early. I graduated a semester early. I didn't want to, but I did.
That's what I was going to ask.
I know,
I swear I was going to ask that, and I was like, I'll wait.
It just came in because in high school I took so many like AP dual credit courses.
You were so far ahead already.
I was already ahead. I was like too far ahead.
You're like, I'm a sophomore.
I know. I came in probably a sophomore. So it was probably October, November 2022. Whenever I started like looking at jobs and stuff, I went to all the career fairs. I applied to probably like 500 places online. Like coming out of college, man, I'll tell you, it's hard to get a job.
Competing with everybody.
You're competing with everyone, and like
Not just A&M.
yeah,
Everybody.
Exactly. Everyone. Like you thought that college was a filter, man. Just waiting. Yeah, the jobs are crazy. So you have to just apply everywhere until you finally get a hit somewhere. And then for me, that's when I would start doing my research. I wasn't going to research 500 companies. I was not doing that. So every job that like sounded interesting to me, I would apply for. And if I'd hear something back, I'd do my research and I'd be like, actually, I'm good. And, I mean, they do the same thing to you, so it's perfectly fine. And I think I think some people are at fault, or not at fault there, but just don't do that. They're just like, I want to apply for this big name. And they're not going to, odds are you're probably not even going to hear back just because it sucks.
But then that's the only thing they're waiting on.
Yeah. But so man, I applied like everywhere that I found interesting. I said I was doing
Did you go out and shake personal people's hands and stuff like that? And
I would
network yourself?
Yeah, I went to all the career fairs and actually got really good results from those. Heard lots of things back. It's really hard to make yourself stand out in those.
Did you intern throughout any of the summers or?
Yeah, I did this like one internship, which was kind of irrelevant. It was just it wasn't even paid or anything. It just put it on my resume, right? And that was like, I was working with like contracts for like marketing agents or something. Oh. Yeah, I was just like reading through them. I was a proofreader basically. And my second one was my biggest one. I got really lucky because my cousin worked at a consulting firm out of Austin. They did advertising and management consulting. And we had talked at a wedding actually that I'd gone to, and that's where the personal connections come in. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, actually, I'm majoring in marketing, consulting, and data analytics is what my major was. And she's like, that's exactly what we need. Like, why don't you come over and intern? It's super small, so she can put a good word in. And got to do that remotely here while I was in school, which was awesome because on your resume it says, I've been working at this consulting firm for 2 years.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah,
and that's already setting you apart from most.
Yeah,
like that's what people don't
and
realize.
Do you feel like the information or like the stuff you had to do, it was pretty easy? You picked it up pretty quick?
Yeah, I would say honestly, college prepped me pretty well for simple stuff. But then you get into the critical thinking, which I don't think that college sets you up too much for. I think that college, they'll give you an assignment, you have to do the assignment. But for me, whenever you're in consulting, a lot of it is critical thinking. You know, it's like, how am I going to solve this problem? There's no straight answer. And so that's, I think, where this internship helped me is that it just helped me with my critical thinking skills and how to solve an issue, or, you know, in my case, how to deep dive into data and manipulate it to show a tangible example of what they're trying to actually see and how it'll benefit their company, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I think that college will teach you how to do things, hard skills, and then experience on the job training is where you learn really
What's
how to do
your day-to-day
things.
right nowadays in your job? Like,
yeah, so that's where it's a little different is I pivoted actually. I got a job in financial consulting. Okay. So I'm at River on consulting, and on a day-to-day, I'm working a lot on data projects. We call them VUE projects, VUE. And basically, companies will give us, they'll come in with their ERPs, which are basically their reporting systems for their financials, and they're basically like, hey, like, what does this mean? You know, like, you know, how can I make this better? How can I make more money?
Yeah, are you looking at the P&Ls, like cash balance sheets?
Exactly right.
Like, so I look at that. And,
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, like, even though I'm in property management, we do asset management. Okay. So it's kind of like, is this a great investment? Like, is this a good rate on return? Or like, you know, if somebody's trying to look at, like, okay, like, is this really worth it? You know, but we do that on the property management side, but it's technically asset management. Right. But it's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know, I
it's
like
fun,
it.
right?
Yeah, because you start to see patterns.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, I've seen this before.
Now, where's the solution?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what consulting is.
But I kind of want to know, like, so what do you do? Like, so you look at something. What's the next step? Like,
so for me, my focus. Remember, I was marketing, so I'm not like the expert in everything financial like a lot of my coworkers are. So I'm specializing a lot in where I am an expert in, and that's like big data and data science, honestly, and just moving that into visuals. So I can tell you on a day-to-day, well, I'll tell you a broad overview and then I'll tell you the day-to-day. On a broad overview, a company will come to us and be like, hey, we have this ERP that's spitting out all these numbers. They're spitting out, you know, revenue, cost of goods, profit, whatever it may be. And now we want to see it on a yearly view. And so I have to take all of that data that's coming out of basically a system that's code. I have to take all this code basically.
It's just all these numbers.
Yeah, and now I have to make it look presentable, and like you can actually digest it and understand what's going on with your company. So that's what I'm working in a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and it's like solving a puzzle. That's why I enjoy it.
So you catch yourself like this with the camera? I mean, with the computer in your face
Absolutely.
every time.
Oh, yeah. No, on a day-to-day, I'd say like the first half of the day is like meetings. That's how consulting goes.
Okay, yeah.
You got to meet with client. You got to
people back,
yeah,
contact.
exactly. And then the second half of the day, I call it like my focus time. Is I'll like lock in. I'll grind. I'll take their data and I'll start like messing with it and like putting it through systems and softwares to clean it, which I'll then put it into like Power BI, for instance, which is a reporting software, and build visuals or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And companies that have never used stuff like this, is it a big improvement for people, or is it one of those where it's like just depending on what you're targeting and stuff like that?
I'd say for ones that have never used it, absolutely. They're like, I can actually see historically what's going on with my company, and I can project into the future. It's like
So people do like 5-year projections, or
exactly.
10 years, and it's kind of like, okay, in 5 years, is it really gonna? And it like I'm seeing it as on a property
level,
side. Yeah, but there's also companies that do the exact same thing.
with their products.
So also with employees. So sometimes people have to let go of it just depends. It all depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make the numbers work. Or like with rates that are being so high up right now.
Yeah.
Like people have to sacrifice on and then sometimes it goes into health, insurance. Like those are the sides that we don't see, but companies look at that.
But when it comes to you, you have to see the bad, the good, the everything in between.
Yep. And so I think that's where a huge difference is between like what I'm doing now and like what I'm kind of working, because as you level up, right now I'm building stuff, right? I said I'm building dashboards, I'm cleaning data, whatever it is. As you get higher up, more managerial.
You're doing the grunt work right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're learning it. You're kind of.
Yep. Yeah. The higher up you get, you're more advisory. You're like, here are your numbers. Here's what you need to do, right? To fix that or to improve that or whatever it may be. So it's constant learning for sure. It never stops.
That and like the market changes.
Yeah.
And time changes, economy changes. So there are a lot of factors you have to factor in.
Absolutely.
Do you ever have to work outside of like the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5?
Yeah, I'm really lucky because with my company, it's not too bad. We have 45-hour work weeks, so 8:30 to 5:30 I'm working.
Dude, same here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, but honestly, I don't mind. It's really not that bad.
It goes by like a regular day.
It does, and it's not like I'm going to be doing anything during the week much. Anyways, it's a work night now, right? And there's my discipline coming in, sitting at the kitchen table.
But when it's time to clock out, it's time to clock out.
Exactly, and I feel like I'm really good about that. Is separating work from home, and lots of people struggle with that.
So I know you have roommates. Do you have something to help you after work? Like, do you have like a routine or something just to keep you sane?
Yeah.
Ready for the day?
Yeah. Before work, what I'll do is I literally wake up at like 6 a.m. and I go to the gym to get my like heart racing, and I'm locked in as soon as I'm done. I'm like
commitment right there, man.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Then after work, I got about I guess 5 hours of doing whatever I want, and I'll cook a little dinner. I'll go on a run. Usually, maybe sometimes I'll hang out with friends. It's really hard after you get out of college. The transition is really tough.
Dude, talk about that, because like for me, like I have a whole story on why I couldn't go back to college or what happened. And it was hard for me because I was still in College Station and working while my friends were in school or partying or getting out early, and they're like, hey, come meet us. So, and I know you graduated early, so I don't know if you were still in College Station or kind of like, what was that transition like? Because you're kind of like an adult, but you're a college student. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
You're right in between, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, so I graduated early, and so I was here for an extra semester, and at that point, my parents were like, hey, you graduated, you're cut off. And I was like, oh God, I gotta figure out what I gotta do. Can I even?
No more haircut.
Yeah, can I even say Neff for a haircut? I don't know. I definitely got a little shaggy sometimes. He knows. I'd come in.
He went from 2 weeks to once a month.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it was. Yeah. No, so I stayed in College Station. I was working that remote internship that I said I was doing, consulting, and so it's really nice because I got to work from home and everything, and I had a lot of autonomy and flexibility in whatever I wanted to do during the day. So it really wasn't like I graduated whenever I was still here, because I wasn't working 9 to 5. And then whenever I moved to Dallas, and you go into it, for me, 8:30 to 5:30, it's like, oh my God, the weekends mean so much more. That's the biggest thing that I learned.
So fast sometimes.
The weekends, definitely.
The weekends mean so much more,
Especially when it's grass time.
Wait,
And,
so how are you here today?
How am I here today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, No, my company's hybrid, which is really nice. So
nice.
I can literally go in whenever I want and work from home whenever I want, which is awesome. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm
company
pretty
was this
blessed. River on Consulting. If any of you are interested,
Look them up.
yeah, shoot me a message on LinkedIn or my email, and
There you go. You'll find the description somewhere here.
He's like, no promises, but
No promises, but hit us up. Hey, you never know.
yeah, absolutely, man. Have a conversation or something. No, it's a great company.
Yeah, and I know you're growing with that company, but now moving on to personal investments and bettering your future, setting up your legacy. What do you have in store for yourself, or what have you started looking at and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've grown deeply as I started, working in financials. I thought a lot more about my personal financials. Right, you start working in the company ones you want to move to.
I'm back.
Yep, we're good.
Awesome.
So, I mean, obviously, like I got into financial consulting, and so because of that, I dove into personal finances and dove really deep into it to the point where, I was just doing like research after work and stuff, and I gained the most interest in like real estate. So there you go. Yeah, so right now I'm saving to buy an investment property, and my plan is to like kind of do the house hacking thing, where you live in half of it, a duplex, live in one side almost like a townhome, and then rent the other side and basically live for free.
Get your mortgage paid for.
Yeah, get the mortgage paid for, man, and then the smartest thing I think would be to like eventually move out and then rent the other side, and there you got a cash flowing, property right there that's paying off the mortgage for you and everything. So that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. I love real estate as an option. I think it's fun and it's obviously profitable, but shout out Dave Ramsey. I don't know if you guys know Dave Ramsey, but yeah, he is. I would follow, for anyone coming out of college and like starting their
Baby steps.
their job, follow baby steps. I mean, it's simple, man. The only thing I don't agree with him on is debt, because I think debt can be a leverage tool.
Because he says run away from debt, but debt can be good.
I think there's good and bad debt. Yeah, for sure.
My old boss, talking about him again, Doug, he enrolled us in Financial Peace University when we worked for him.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Because and it's with Dave Ramsey. Yeah. So he wanted us, if we worked for him, he also wanted to instill in us, like, if you're going to work for me, I may not pay you the best, but I'm going to show you how to think differently than other people. Yeah. So it was really cool for an owner. I always say he's not a boss, he was a leader. Yeah. So for him to be a leader of his company, a leader of his people, I miss it there. I say that all the time. Yeah.
Dude, that's signs of a leader for sure, is just caring about the people under you, even treating them like equals. That's awesome. But yeah, just those simple steps, which I feel like a lot of people, even my age, like y'all said that I'm young and I'm doing this stuff. I'm doing it because I'm, responsible with my investments and my money, and which I feel like a lot of people my age aren't. Whenever they get those first few paychecks or whatever, they just want to go spend them. But it's so important to build that like base foundation, I think.
A strong base foundation.
Yeah, strong base foundation. Yeah.
Now that you're out there, and I know you used to cut your hair out with me for almost 4 or 5 years out here, and now you're in Dallas, right?
Yep.
Have you found any places, or what have you been doing?
I've looked long and far, but I'm always coming back to Neff, man. Always, man. I come down here like at least once a month and get it cut with Neff, man. Yeah, for sure.
That. And was that one of the hard things moving into college, finding a barber out here, or how did you end up finding us?
Dude, I got lucky before you started your own spot. I visited you at your last place one time, and I was like, oh, I mess with Neff, yeah. And then the next time you were starting your own spot, and I was like, I'm going there. Like, it was an easy decision.
What made you kept coming back? I asked this to everybody, kind of like, what was different about Neff or his haircuts, like?
Well, Neff, I mean, first of all, gave a good haircut. That's for sure. That's one of the first things you need.
We try.
Yeah, I mean, every time you come in, I mean, you're just like personable and you just like want to talk. And I feel like honestly with like a lot of barbers, it's like an awkward conversation. But like with Neff, he'll just like mess around and yeah, he'll just be goofy.
I know how to read the room too. It's one of those like if you came in, we talk more business oriented, then I could talk more business. And then if you want to, because school's stressful for a lot of people. So I feel like I'm here to break the ice. You get me?
You are.
Because they're already under like a lot of stress, either mentally, physically, and like just in all shapes and sizes, you get me? Yeah. And I feel like when people come here, it's kind of like a stress reliever or kind of like how could you say it? It just takes weight off their shoulders, you know? And I mean, you come here to look good and feel good. Yeah. So, I mean, I can try my best to make you feel better, you get me? So it's one of those where I feel like you're under a lot of stress already, and then to find a good barber in good hands, I mean, we try our best to take care of everybody out here.
Yeah, absolutely do, man. I give my props to everyone that asks. Need a new barber? Go to Neff, dude. I'm telling you.
Awesome. And a lot of the orgs that you did out here too. I'm sure you probably met people from, or I've cut a lot of people from your orgs and stuff like that, or people you met out here. And you said you catch up with them still.
Shout out Connect.
No, that's great. Well, we're gonna leave this up to you. It's gonna be your final conclusion, your thoughts. Drew, anything, advice for yourself and for the people out there, man?
Yeah, I would say just advice for everyone out there. I mean, as you've heard this entire podcast that I've talked about, building your base foundation, a strong one, and constantly staying motivated, and even through the good and bad, and just strengthening your mindset is so important to your success in life. And you know, whether it's work or just happiness in life, I think that it's all about mindset. And so the more that you can strengthen that and build that and learn more about how your mind even works, and how to handle that and how to just be emotionally intelligent, I think is so important to the building of your entire life and every single block in it. And so I guess my one of my favorite quotes would be, you know, adapt or die. It's that simple. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. Don't even really have to go too much into it, but always be on your toes and always be learning and always be moving, and just stay on top of everything, and that's how you stay ahead. Yeah, to my future self, I would say thank you for putting the work in now, because I know down the road it definitely paid off, and all your dreams are going to come true, and I'm sure by this point, if you're watching it, it did, and because you know it will, and I think that's what's most important, is just having that confidence in yourself and in your actions, and constantly pursuing that is so important. So thank you for working towards that future me, and thank you for always having a good head on your shoulders and being the best guy you can be. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, bud. Appreciate everybody for joining in. Stay tuned for the next one.
All right,
Peace.
Thank you.